Great. All right, so this afternoon I'm going to talk a little bit about what VET is to start with. We'll have a look at some benefits of doing a VET course. I'll give you some information around the relationship between VET and SACE and how that works. Then we'll get into having a look at what kind of courses are available for school students and have a look at what flexible industry pathway courses are. I'll look at eligibility, and then probably what you'll want to know is how to apply and what the courses that are available for 2025. I will let you know that the chat isn't on in the session at the moment, but the Q&A is. So at the top of your screen, there is a Q&A button there. I'm not sure how much we'll be able to get through during the session this afternoon. A lot of questions that come up are probably going to be pretty unique to everyone's individual circumstances. So I'll pop my email address up again at the end. So if you do have some questions that come up during the session, feel free to jot them down and make sure to get in contact with me after the session. All right. All right. So let's have a look first of all at what VET is. So it does stand for Vocational Education and Training. And when we're talking about vocations, we're really talking about what occupation, employment, or career are you interested in? So from a student's perspective, it's really thinking about what kind of career you want to get into after school. Okay. Education and training, I think we probably understand what that is. It's around learning and developing knowledge, skills, and abilities. So when we put it together, VET is all about the education and training that's aimed at providing students with skills, knowledge, and experience to be successful in their chosen careers. So it's certainly not intended to be a bit of a filler exercise, get some SACE credits here. It really is providing you that kind of rich and meaningful experience within an industry that you're interested in. Okay. And I think the word there that's really important here is that it's about providing experiences. So it's those kind of experiences that you can't necessarily get out of a textbook or a classroom, and trying to get students into that industry and really feel what it's like to work in that particular space. I guess along with that, that VET does provide nationally recognised industry developed training packages. So what students undertake in a VET course is nationally recognised, and they are accredited courses. Now, we don't deliver VET courses at Open Access College. So all students, obviously I help to support students to get into them, but the VET courses are delivered, assessed and certified by registered training organisations. And you may see RTO written in multiple places. These are those training organisations that you actually sign up with. Okay. Through VET, it really is, I mentioned experiences before, but it really is about getting that hands-on experience in courses within industry that gives students the kind of skills that make them employable in the future. So it's about developing those skills and competencies that actually make students employable within a field that they're interested in. And often there's a bit of a misconception that VET and university don't go together. But VET courses can be a really important place to start, and there's nothing stopping VET students from then moving into university after school or when that time is right. Okay, so it's certainly still a pathway to get into university. In terms of what you do, generally most courses, there are some differences out there, but most courses would see students requiring attendance 1 day per week. Okay, and there are quite a few courses that also have work placement components to them as well. So it's important to know what kind of expectations and requirements are for each of the individual courses. And often what I'll hear is that, vet courses are just for people who want to become tradies, and I kind of want to squash that. You can see up on the board that there's a range of different courses and industries that are represented through vet courses. You can see the top one there, tourism, travel and hospitality, is the most, has the most number of students enrolled in it. And you can sort of see down the list. So it's certainly not all about those trade industries. There's a lot of different industries that are represented through the vet courses as well, and can be a really solid foundation for university, some of these courses too. So I guess to recap some of those benefits of engaging in a vet course, it's about developing practical work-related skills that make students more employable. It's getting that understanding of those real-life work environments, getting that industry-specific knowledge and experience. And it's kind of, it's nice to be able to do that while at school before, making that maybe bigger commitment to working in that particular industry after school. You can also get a head start on a pathway that you're interested in. So it might be that you are keen on getting into a particular apprenticeship. I've certainly had students who can actually, cover 50% of an apprenticeship off by doing their vet course at school, and then, potentially transition into that apprenticeship where they can then finish off those units that they need to do to finish that qualification. Money is important. You can see on the screen that vet graduates earn wages comparable to, if not exceeding, that of university graduates as well. And there's also a higher employment rate for vet graduates compared to undergraduates. So there's lots of benefits to getting into a vet course. And really importantly, these courses are offered in the industries where there is growth and employment within South Australia. So the courses that are offered are chosen for specific reasons, that these are the growth industries within South Australia, the predicted growth industries in South Australia, where the government obviously sees a shortage of employees. So there will be opportunities for employment after doing these particular courses. In terms of VET and SACE, VET does count towards SACE completion. So each VET course, the qualification attracts a certain amount of SACE credits. So students can gain up to, so in order to get SACE completion, students need 200 SACE credits all up. And you can actually use VET to count for up to 150 of those SACE credits. Now, this is very dependent on what course a student is interested in doing. And I've just put a link on that slide there to the VET recognition search on the SACE website. So this is a really handy place to go to see how many credits each course is actually worth, and whether they count as stage 1 or 2 credits as well. If you're not sure about any of this side in terms of completing SACE, how many credits am I going to get, this is where your enrolling counsellor comes in really handy. When you enroll at OAC, you would have had a conversation with them about SACE pathways, or if you're in year 10, maybe not yet. But when you enroll, you have that conversation with your student wellbeing leader about SACE completion and planning that pathway. So they are always available to have that conversation with and touch base with if plans change, and if you're wondering about how this might impact other studies that you want to do as well. Okay. I did mention, university as well previously. And it is important to note that a Certificate 3 qualification can be counted towards ATAR calculation. So you can use your vet studies in order to get into university as well. And that's once again a conversation that you would have when you are picking subjects for stage 2, making sure that you do have that right combination, but doing that Cert 3 qualification can count towards your ATAR. So you will probably hear the term FIP being thrown around. You might see it on documents that are out there. FIPs are the flexible industry pathway courses. So a lot of people come and say, hey, I want to do this course or that course, but it's only the ones that are recognised as flexible industry pathways that are supported through school. So these are those industry endorsed pathways, the ones that have been, that have been acknowledged as those growth areas within South Australia that are supported by the government and supported through school. So these FIP courses are subsidised, and depending on what course and what your enrolment is like at OAC, we will generally cover the gap fee for that enrolment into the course as well. So that'll be a conversation that we can have. You are able, or students are able to access the funding subsidy for one Certificate 2 course and one Certificate 3 course. Okay, now not all courses have Certificate 2s that lead into Certificate 3s nicely, but it's important to state that if you have already accessed funding for a Certificate 2 course and there is another one that you want to do, then that funding won't be available again. Okay, so only one Cert 2 and one Cert 3 course. You'll also see the terms on the job and off the job. So there are a range of flexible industry pathway courses. Some of them are accessible as on-the-job courses, and these are the ones that are part of training contracts. So on-the-job courses are the ones that students do via school-based apprenticeships or traineeships. Okay, and when you do look at the list of these, there are many, many, many more courses available through the on-the-job training, so via school-based apprenticeships and traineeships. The jobs that most of you will be looking at are the ones that are classed as off the job. These are the ones that are those vet in school courses where students go and participate for that kind of 1 day per week arrangement. Okay. I will let you know that the courses for 2025 have not been quite confirmed by the department yet. So we currently have the 2024 list up on our website and just waiting for the last confirmation to come through for the 2025 list of courses. But I will show you what's been up there for 2024 at the end. And I can't foresee too many changes in what's there at the moment. So in order to access the FIPS, there is some eligibility requirements around it. So students do need to be living or working in South Australia, need to be either an Australian citizen, a permanent Australian resident, or an eligible visa holder. And if you need any more information around the visa status, there is information on the Skills SA website, and I can certainly point you in the right direction there. Students also need to be enrolled in either year 11, 12, or 13 and be 16 or turning 16 in that year. VET is also a SACE completion pathway. So students enrolled in a VET course do need to be working towards completing their SACE, and that will look really different for everybody depending on how many credits they can get for the course that they're undertaking. but it is a SACE completion pathway, so students do need to be doing the subjects required at school at the same time as doing their VET course. And all students require what's called a USI, or a unique student identifier. I have put the link on the slide here, so feel free to click on it, have it open if you're keen on doing a course. That's something that all students will need to create if you don't have one already. Okay. Now, in terms of process, once you identify that you are eligible, you do want to undertake a VET course, you know what course you want to do, all students go through a VETRO process. And VETRO stands for VET Readiness Orientation. And this is something that is conducted by the Registered Training Organisation. So they make sure that students are ready to undertake VET and make sure that they have everything in order. So the first thing we do is that students must supply evidence of their interest or exposure to that industry when applying for a course. Now, this is probably the bit that's the most trickiest potentially, depending on whether students come from a place that they've kind of done something or haven't so far. So in that table, it gives you the 3 areas of evidence that are acceptable. So students can either have relevant industry exposure, and this can be things like doing part-time work or casual work within that industry, having done some volunteering, some work experience, either virtual work experience or on-site work experience. Or they may have some accredited training already, and that could be a VET taster course, it could be a short course that's relevant to that particular industry, or it could be a certificate course, perhaps a certificate 1 or 2. The third area is relevant SACE curriculum work. So a student can show their work in order as evidence. So it could be career exploration, so exploring the particular industry that they're interested in through stage 1 EIF, exploring identities and futures. So if you are a year 10 student who's thinking, I potentially not sure if I have any evidence that meets here, most year 10 students are enrolled in EIF in year 10. So have a think about how maybe you can use EIF to explore your interest within that industry, and then you can use that work as evidence for your application. Workplace practices, curriculum work is acceptable as well, as is stage 2 activating identities and futures, which has replaced research project. Okay, so SACE curriculum work, absolutely we can use, and also industry immersion activities. So there are a range of activities that are advertised. We do a lot of advertising through our care group program to students about immersion activities that come up. So they are also acceptable as evidence with the application. So before doing an application, it is really important to consider whether students have the appropriate evidence and what's going to be acceptable for a course. And if they haven't, then you do have some time now to organise that, whether it is doing some volunteering, organising work experience, making sure that the work that you're doing within EIF is related to the industry so you can use it. Okay, but that evidence is sort of the first step in that VETRO process. The second step is once the application goes into the RTO, they also assess the literacy and numeracy capabilities of students. This is done in different ways by different RTOs. mainly online, but sometimes students, depending on the RTO, will need to go in to do the literacy and numeracy assessment. This is not a test, it's an assessment. It's about seeing whether students have the skills required to undertake the course. It shows whether there are some areas that students might need support in, and then the RTO works with us as a school to see whether there are some supports that we need to put in place. So, supplying evidence, undertaking the literacy and numeracy assessment, and some RTOs will also have an interview component, which they usually put together with that literacy and numeracy assessment. Just some questions around, do you know what this course is about? This is what it's about. Is that what you thought? Are you interested? Just to make sure that it is the right fit for the student. So, in terms of applying for a 2025 course, make sure you do research the course first. Make sure it is something that you're interested in doing. I've linked on this slide the Student Pathways website. This will give some information about the courses that are available, the kinds of job opportunities after doing the course. The TAFE SA booklet is probably the most user-friendly one. There are lots of different RTOs out there. TAFE SA is one of them. Their booklet does have all of the courses in there. And that one is on the OAC website at that second link there on the VETS site. So the TAFE SA booklet is a good place to go to get some information about the courses and what they entail. So research the course, make sure it is something that you want to do, and then you need to collate that evidence that I mentioned before. So get that evidence together, whether it's organising work experience or getting a certificate from somewhere, getting a letter from somewhere that you need. Get that evidence together, and then you need to complete the VET expression of interest form, which is available on the OAC website. And that's what's at that second link on the screen. That VET expression of interest form comes straight to me. I see that, and then I'll engage in a conversation with you about your VET readiness, make sure you understand what that course entails, etc. After that, then we go through that VETRO process of doing that literacy and numeracy assessment. Okay. If successful, you'll then get an offer from the VET course. This can happen at varying times. TAFE, for example, start their offers from the 30th of September this year, but those offers can run up until the end of the school year as well. I'll talk a little bit more about timeline in a minute. So regardless of whether, if you've applied for the course, regardless of whether you've received an offer or not, when you have your enrolment interview for OAC for 2025, you will need to select a full complement of subjects for 2025 as a backup, okay? Even if you've applied, if you haven't heard back yet, it's really important you choose a full complement of subjects when you do enroll. If you haven't had your offer yet, because there's certainly no guarantees. And I think that's the other point I want to make is that there's really no guarantees for a place in a course at any time. There are lots of unknowns when it comes to the courses. So courses fill up on a first in basis. So whoever puts their application in first will be considered first for a place in the course. And it really just depends on what course it is, where it is, how many places they have available for particular courses. So my encouragement is to put that expression of interest in as soon as you can, as soon as you have that evidence ready, put the expression of interest in for your best chance to be able to get into a place for next year. There are different timelines for different providers, but as an example, TAFE SA did open their applications yesterday. other providers are starting to take applications as well. Okay, and using TAFE as an example again, their applications close on the 1st of November. Okay, so your best chance at securing a place is, like I said, to get that expression of interest in as soon as you can, absolutely this term. Okay, and through that process, you know, it just depends how many other students are applying for courses as to when and how they fill up. Okay. The other thing is that sometimes you will apply for a course and the RTO will be waiting to see how many numbers of students they get for it. They all have minimum numbers to go ahead. So sometimes you might find out really late that actually that place is not going ahead with the course anymore because they don't have the numbers to do that. So that's just something to be aware of because it did happen for multiple courses this year. Yeah, so something to be aware of so we're not too disappointed if it comes to that. Along with this process, all RTOs have their own in-house processes, forms, things that need to be filled out as well. So just be aware that when we start the application process, I'll probably be sending you back perhaps links to expressions of interest other than ours, registration forms, enrollment forms, all these things. And most places will want all of those forms returned before they start to look at your application. Okay, so there can be a lot of paperwork involved, but if you need any support with that, I'm here to help you with it. Okay. So on the screen at the moment are the flexible industry pathway courses that were offered in 2024. Okay. These are on our website and available through DFE website as well. Like I said before, these are the ones that students, vet students have access to do under this subsidy arrangement. Any other course that you wish to do isn't handled by school at all, okay, unless it's a school-based apprenticeship or traineeship. So these are the courses that are available for school students. And as soon as the 2025 list is updated, I'll pop that on our website as well. I can't imagine it will be too far away from here. All right, so feel free to take a screenshot or that is up on the website as well. Okay. I imagine this has probably opened up some questions for lots of people. I'm also aware that questions are going to be really unique to everyone's situation. So I'm going to ask that if you have questions about courses, RTOs, locations, application process, whatever it might be, my email address is on the board. Please get in contact with me, reach out. If you have questions around your SACE pathway, how this might fit in with that one, please get in contact with our student services team. You can certainly talk to the enrolling counsellor who you initially enrolled with at OAC, and they'll be able to support you in making some choices. And then I will be in touch once I get that expression of interest. I'll be in touch and we'll go from there. Final message, get it in as soon as you can for the best chance. I look forward to getting lots of questions, I imagine. So yeah, reach out and we'll go from there. All right. Thank you so much for joining this afternoon. I will pop a recording on our website as well. Yeah, thank you so much. See ya.